question we received online. You've been working on so many things, and you did TV, you did films. Can you tell everyone just a little bit the difference of what it is for you as an actor to work on a TV set or a movie set?
There's absolutely no difference. I would love to tell you there is a difference, but there's not. The medium, the way that you watch it has nothing to do with the creation of film at all. It's all shot the same way. Other people, I mean, the writing stylistically used to be different in television than in films. You know, 15 years ago, you could read a script and think, this is for TV. You know, that there's the protagonist, the antagonist is introduced at page 20, almost to the letter. But now it's very different. Like if you watch cable nowadays, AMC, The Walking Dead, some of the cable shows are the best writing out there, outside of movies, TV, whatever. And everything is shot like a film now. It's very, very different. The only thing that's different is 30-minute sitcoms, like comedies. That's shot very different. But episodic, hour-long TV shows are shot just like movies. There is no difference. And good film is good film. Whether you watch it on TV, Netflix, the movie theater, it's all the same.
And what of the projects you did you think had the most impact on not your career but on yourself that you enjoyed most working on, if you had to pick something, and why?
Well, without question, the experience I got on Young Indiana Jones was unparalleled. Nothing comes close to that. When people tell me to pick out my favorite films, it depends on the criteria you're using to decide. So for example, the project that I'm probably most proud of, the final product, would be Powder. The film that I had the most fun making, because he's one of my best friends, would have to be Boondock Saints, because I got to work with one of my best friends. I have yet to do a job in this industry that I didn't leave with something valuable, you know?
Yeah. And then, the job of being the young Indiana Jones was picked up after, so I wanted to check if this is true. You did a Kellogg's cereal commercial, is that correct?
I did, with Paul Walker. First thing I ever did when I got to Los Angeles, I got a Kellogg's Corn Pops commercial, and my little brother was played by Paul Walker, which was pretty cool. And later on in life, he actually got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well.
Yeah. And then you come to LA and you want to achieve things, and you start out with a Kellogg's commercial. Do you, well, of course you hope, but did you ever think that it was going to happen so quickly? Or were you getting lucky? Or was it something you had a feeling right on that Indiana Jones was something that's going to jumpstart anything?
A lot of people don't know that I actually moved out to Los Angeles to be a writer. I wrote a piece of children's theater, and I decided that I was going to move out to LA and produce that play. Now, at the time, without sounding arrogant, I thought I was a good actor, but to me, getting acting roles was a little subjective, meaning there's 5 people that have to choose you. And I'll give you an analogy. If I was ever in the Olympics, I would rather be a sprinter than, say, a diver, where there's a panel of judges that think, oh, the diver, well, the Russian judge gives you an 8.7, and the Japanese judge, that to me is just so, I don't know, it's so subjective. I mean, how do you really know you won? Every fight, if you look at the fight cards, a split decision, one judge gives it to one guy, the other judge gives it to another guy. Whereas if you're Usain Bolt and you break the tape, you fucking won. Nobody can debate that. You won. You're the faster sprinter. So moving out to LA to become an actor was a little bit subjective to me, but I thought, I knew I could write, and I knew producing a play was something I could achieve. I could go out there, I could earn money, I could save up my money, I could rent a playhouse, and I could produce a play. That was up to me and nobody else. Becoming an actor was up to a lot of other people, so I went out there to be a writer. And an agent saw me and suggested, can I submit you for some commercials? And I said, yeah, if it supplements my income, what the hell? And I got 3 national commercials pretty quickly. And then she said, can I submit you on for some TV? I said, yeah, if it supplements. And then the next thing you know, I was on a plane to go do Young Indy. And the writing took a back seat for a long time. And so that's really how I got into it. I didn't move out to be an actor, and did I think it would happen really quickly? I always thought that was a bit of a lottery.
You weren't really planning because you just wanted to save the money, you know, to have your own productions going on.
Well, it had nothing to do with saving the money to do production. It's just I couldn't control becoming an actor.
Yeah.
And I'm not a control freak, but I don't want to leave my future in the hands of 5 judges. You know what I mean?
And then how do you deal with it? Because now you said that is already really subjective. How do you deal with critics? Because I had someone else on the stage saying, you know, of course, fuck the critics, but that they said critics are also really subjective and not objective. But how would you say you deal with that now, being an actor for such a long time and still, you know, having a big career?
Well, anybody that says fuck the critics is delusional. You know, if you meet people, if you meet actors that are like, you know, critics don't affect me, they're full of shit. They're lying to themselves and everybody else. Everybody gets affected. Everybody's opinion matters. But without stroking the audience, by far the most important opinion is the public. I mean, all you have to do is go onto a website called Rotten Tomatoes, and they have the critics, and then they have audience. And they never are the same number. Almost universally, if the critics voted as a 90, the audience thinks it's like a 60 or below. It's crazy. And oddly enough, if the audience thinks something is a 90, the critics think it's shit. So you gotta ask yourself, you know, isn't a critic should have the opinion of the public so you can know, okay. But it's funny because everybody has their own little mathematical equation when they go into Rotten Tomatoes. They're like, oh, we should see this because the critics think it's a 60. That's crazy. You want to go because the critics think it's a 90. But raise your hand if you know, Chariots of Fire. Remember the movie, Chariots of Fire?
They're nodding, yeah.
It won the Academy Award, won everything a year. Raise your hand if you have the DVD in your library.
Wer die DVD davon hat, soll einfach die Hand heben.
Fucking no one. Raise your hand if you have Grease.
Wenn ihr Grease habt, genau.
Thank you. I rest my case. You know, the critics, Grease, oh, it's novelty. Motherfucker, Grease is a piece of art, you know? It's something that moves everybody's soul. Everybody loves that, you know? I don't know of anybody that's handing somebody, you gotta watch this Chariots of Fire. Oh. No. So yeah, I mean, you want to do things that move people. You know, the best adoration is seeing people give their best friend something. Say, man, you gotta see this. You know, but yeah, critics' opinion affects you. Of course it does. I mean, I meet people all the time that say, oh, that doesn't affect. Bullshit, it does too. If somebody walking by the street looks at you and go, ugh, you're ugly, that affects you. You know, maybe some people are stronger than others, but it affects everybody. Everybody. And I'm not gonna pretend that it doesn't. You know, we're in an industry where praise is a currency. You know, we come to these events and you know, there's a lot of people that want to talk to you about something that you've already been compensated for. That's its own currency. It feels fucking good, you know?
So when you did the Boondock Saints, you know, you got the script or you went to the casting, did you feel like, you know, of course you got the part, you got work, but what made you want to do it? And like, would you think that you fill up a room, which most of the people are a big fan about this particular movie?
I have no idea what the question was.
Just about what intrigued you by the script, that, you know, when you got the script for Boondock Saints, and would you think that it would still fill, you know, a room full of people that come for this movie so much?
No, I mean, you never read a script and you think, oh, after I make this, people are going to fly from different countries to come and meet me. No, you'd never think that. That's ridiculous. I mean, when people say, you know, did you plan on going out and making a cult hit? There's no recipe for a cult hit. If there was, people would make them all the time. You know, what's interesting is what makes a movie a cult hit. It's a number of different variables. For example, you know, U2, the band, was an underground Irish band. You know, when Gloria, you know, the song Gloria came out, they were an underground, nobody had heard of them, and so people took ownership of that. You know, and a lot of those original fans kind of left U2 once they once the marketing campaign started telling him, you need to love this band, new album coming, everybody, there's something more valuable with art whenever it's just you and a handful of people know about it. There's a different type of possession, And so what happened with Boondock, there was no marketing campaign that told you, Boondock Saints, big explosions, life, drama, you're gonna love it. There was no marketing campaign to tell you to watch it. So it was just friends, handing the VHS cassette to each other saying, wow, you gotta watch this. That gave it its own kind of cachet. And you can't replicate that. You can't replicate that because that happens in somebody's living room where a film spoke to them. And they felt so, driven by it that they wanted to give it to only a select group of friends. I got 5 friends, you 3 watch it. No, you 2, no, never mind. You 3, And you can't create that. It's lightning in a bottle. There's far too many variables that are out of your control.
Our fans online were wondering if you have any information on why it took about 10 years to actually do the sequel.
Yeah, it's common knowledge. It was tied up in lawsuits. There was legal wranglings to get the rights back, but that's common knowledge. Anybody that Googles it's fine. That's an old story, but yeah.
Were you still excited though to go back after 10 years?
Yeah, of course. It was a fun film to make. I was making a film with one of my best friends, so yeah, of course.
So let's see, we have 10 questions. Wir übersetzen natürlich auch. Wer eine Frage hat, bitte aufstehen, damit ich euch sehen kann. They're so shy. Ja, einmal nach vorne kommen.
Hi there. So, I saw that you got a movie called The Storyteller coming up this year or next year, I don't know. Can you tell us something about it?
Yeah, there's a film called Storyteller. And I don't know if you guys know the name Getty in America.
Yes.
The name Getty. It's a very old money name. The Gettys, John Paul Getty was one of the richest men in America. And his family now, they funded the Getty Museum in Los Angeles. Well, one of his sons, Andrew Getty, made a film. We made this in 2003. And Andrew died maybe 2 years ago. But the film got packed away. It wasn't finished. Then they called us back to finish it. We shot some more scenes. There was still 20 pages that we hadn't shot. And they shot the remaining part of it, assembled the film together, and now the film's coming out. We shot that in 2003. The director was Andrew Getty, and it's a very, very bizarre, disturbing film. That, quite frankly, I can't fucking wait to see. But it's something that I wish had come out a long time ago. But it's shrouded in a big, long, convoluted story in reality with the Getty family, and but I think he made something pretty neat.
Are you playing a major part of it?
Yeah. I play the lead in it. Yeah.
Dankeschön. Noch jemand eine Frage? Einmal nach vorne kommen.
Kannst du weiterfilmen? Darfst du? Ja.
Okay, I have 2 questions. First of all, I guess a lot of people want to know, what about Boondock Saints 3? Can you tell something about it?
I think Troy right now is doing a documentary on his life. And after that, I don't know, we'll see.
Okay, I saw yesterday, I saw a post about Troy Duffy sent a picture of the second part of the script, or the second side of the script.
I didn't see that.
And another question I saw on, I guess it was the Walker Stalker Festival. Norman Reedus talked about you, or would be great, you in The Walking Dead.
Say it again?
That you play, maybe, or Norman Reedus would say it's great if you would play in The Walking Dead.
Who's to say I haven't already been in The Walking Dead?
Thank you, man.
You're very welcome, brother.
Haben wir noch eine Frage? Traut sich jetzt noch jemand? Ja, dann einmal rüberkommen.
Hi, Sean. A question about your martial arts. So what was your drive to go into martial arts when you started? Why did you start martial arts and which one? And nowadays, do you still provide training to others?
The last question?
Nowadays, do you still provide training to others?
Oh yeah, martial arts. You know, I got into martial arts when I was 9 years old. And you know, everybody has a story about Bruce Lee. Everybody got into martial arts because of Bruce Lee movies. I got into martial arts because I don't know if you remember this, but in 1970, Elvis on the stage in Vegas did Suspicious Minds. And if you remember, he's like, "We're caught in a trap. I can't walk on because I love you too much, baby. We're caught in a trap." Do you remember that? Yo, Google that shit, motherfucker. Google that shit. Elvis Presley doing Suspicious Minds. Raise your hand if you've seen that shit. Fuck yeah, Google it. That shit got me into martial arts. Motherfucker had a key on. He was like, "We're going to you too much, baby." And I was like, "Dad, is he doing karate?" My dad was like, "Yeah, you know, I think he studies with the old man." And he was right. He studied with Ed Parker, Kempo Karate. I got into martial arts because of fucking Elvis Presley, motherfuckers. And you know, I started when I was 9. Started in Taekwondo, and I've been doing martial arts since I was 9. Never stopped a day in my life. And I discovered Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the 90s. So I started training with Hickson. I got my black belt May 4th of 08. I have an academy in LA that's going on its 15th year in business. I still train every single day. As a matter of fact, I brought my belt and the gi here with me in case I had some spare time. But yeah, I train all the time. It's a huge part of my life. It's not something that you stop doing. You know what I mean? If a martial artist starts and stops, they were never a martial artist. You know what I mean? It's a huge part of my life.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Noch jemand eine Frage stellen? Einmal nach Monika.
Let me just say right here, raise your hand if you've ever read my blog. Ah, nice. Well, it's translated in German, and Steffi and Cindy, stand up. They are the ones that translate my blog. So give it up for them.
Thank you.
And if you want any information about the blog, Cindy and Stephanie, they are fucking golden. Yes, though.
You did a lot of traveling for your interview, and you told in an interview that traveling so much made you a bigger patriot, and you may appreciate what you have living in the States, for example. Which experiences did you have that made you a bigger patriot?
You know, I don't know if you guys heard, but she said, you know, I said in an interview before that, you know, traveling for young India, I went to 56 different countries, and what it really taught me is it taught me to have an appreciation for home. It's not like there was ever a time in my life where I didn't appreciate my home, but you know, you go away and you miss everything. You know, the most important aspect of me, the most identifiable thing about any of you is your culture. It's what you and your family do every day. It's your values, your morals, your individual personal laws. And that's one thing that I really came to adore. And I found that there's similar people to me in every single country. And even in my own country, there's people completely different than me. And I found like I have brothers in just about every place on the planet. And I have foreigners that may live next door to me. But I always realized that I was never the person that looked up and saw a plane flying over and wanted to be on it. I never wanted to be on it. Even growing up as a kid, I loved my family so much. I until I got Young Indy, that forced me to go out of the country and meet other cultures and countries and laws. It wasn't by choice, and it wasn't because it was because I loved my family. And that was home to me. Home was where everything smelled familiar. But it was wonderful that I got forced into seeing different places. And I realized that there's people I like better than my next door neighbor in a foreign country. And vice versa. There's people that I have nothing in common with in a foreign country. But nation's lines don't really dictate which. But again, I was never one to see that plane and wish I was on it. I always wanted to stay right at home, you know? But it taught me that I love home, and I love my family, you know? And I'm sure everybody feels the same way, you know? It's, that's one of those valuable things that I left.
So tell us to conclude this interview. You have so many upcoming projects. Is there? What do you want to tell your fans about it that they should go see it? Besides you being in it.
Well, a couple of films I have coming out in 2017. I have a film that debuted at the South by Southwest Film Festival called Johnny Frank Garrett's Last Word, and it's a killer, true story about a guy that killed a nun in Amarillo, Texas in 1981. And bizarrely enough, he was convicted, he was sentenced to die by lethal injection for his crimes. And on his deathbed, he said, "I'm innocent, I didn't do this, and anybody that had anything to do with me dying is gonna pay." Well, oddly enough, they injected him and he died, and people started dying. Bizarre, weird deaths. It's a true story, which makes it even more compelling. But that's coming out in 2017. Also a film I did called Unhinged, where I play a psycho, which to me are the most fun roles to play. It really allows you to go somewhere else. You know, home may be somewhere, but somewhere else is just a little more intriguing. But, so those are the two things that I have coming up. And I want to say that Cindy and Steffi are doing a raffle. So those are the two things that I have coming up. And I want to say that Cindy and Steffi are doing a raffle. I don't know if any of you guys know, but I also wrote a book that came out April 5th of this year. And Steffi actually, this is the shirt. She made that shirt about the book cover. But it's about a true story, something happened to me. Probably one of the most important things that happened in my life when I was 10 years old. And so they are going to do a little raffle for everybody that has a ticket and give away some stuff, which flatters the shit out of me personally. So here we go. You can say it in German. Too bad. Flattered as hell that they did that. So thank you guys. God bless. And if you don't read the blog, you want to know something about it? Cindy and Stephanie, they have been golden to me, and I appreciate it far exceeding your wildest dreams. It touches me in my soul. Thank you guys very much for showing up. I got to tell you, it blows my mind that I go to a foreign country and there's people that just want to hear me talk about something that I've already been paid for. So from my heart and my soul, God bless you guys. It feels really good. Thank you. I hope to see you.